Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, something big is brewing and is shaking the political table across Nigeria. A powerful Northern PDP elder has dropped a bombshell. He says Peter Obi is their own and they are working quietly but seriously to bring him back into the party. According to him, Obi didn't just impress in 2023, he shocked the system. Despite all the rigging and blocks in his way, the man pulled over 6 million votes and even won the FCT. Now, here is a twist. Atiku has officially left the PDP. Obi is still with Labour Party, but he is now part of a new mega coalition, one that is quietly gaining serious ground ahead of 2027. So now, everyone is asking the same question. Is Peter Obi really returning to PDP, or is this a fresh alliance forming to unseat Tinubu? There is clear tension in the air, and it looks like APC is beginning to feel the heat. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Involvement, for the simple reason that as long as he remains within the party, all the times he will get the ticket. It doesn't matter if the zoning favors the north. And a lot of persons are now calling across the strata, saying that now you people seem to be getting it right, and by the grace of God, you will cross the bridge for the first time. Since those of them who kept constituting club on the wheel of the progress for running the party are giving way. So we bid him farewell, let him go and try somewhere else. I only pray he will not fail in his promise by coming back after the so-called coalition, hit the rocks, which is going to be the case ultimately.
But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you're talking in sort of microcosm, specifically about him.
Yeah.
But there are bigger implications, aren't there? I mean, so many people have left the PDP. Some would say that the very soul of the party has been tremendously diminished.
That's not correct. I told you earlier that some of those persons are the ones that are exiting because they are standing in, Mr. Charles, in this very forum. In many of the interviews I have had with you, you did ask me in one of it if Atiku's insistence to run in 2023 did not divide our party substantially for his going to. And I did tell you at that time, it probably did. But we expected him, having gotten the ticket for the presidency, to be able to manage the situation better, which we truly did not see in him. And that's why some of us identify with the G5, as it were, because certainly if you have the ticket, it's behoven on you to, to deploy all the arsenals at your disposal. Tinubu would not have lost that election, even if he was not contesting in PDP. Like we saw in 2023, he came from the ruling party and he sprang surprise, for his party, the APC. So many of us in-house expected that Atiku Abubakar would not celebrate the loss of Peter Obi, the same Peter Obi that they are rallying now into the coalition. We only fear and advise Peter Obi to be very cautious and careful because that's a contraption. One will not expect them to lose, Kwankwaso in Kano. We will not also have expected, as a presidential flag bearer, with that measure of experience, to have lost the G5 governors, led by Nyesom Wike. And even after the concession by Nyesom Wike, Atiku Abubakar was in the position to have specified these persons to be able to galvanize this support, to demonstrate how hungry we were to win that election again. Because all of the chances were there for PDP to take back, the soul of this country, at hand. But Atiku Abubakar bungled that opportunity because of a few elements around him who kept prodding him that you're already a president in waiting either way. And I'm talking about the likes of our former chairman, Iyochia Ayu, and a few elements around Atiku who kept goading him on that, look, you have won the election, don't worry, don't lose any sleep about this person. If only he had managed that situation carefully, chances are that PDP would have been in power today and we would have taken back the control and salvaged Nigeria from this despair and despondency in the land. But it's unfortunate. So whatever you see happening around the PDP, substantially these people battered the problem, and if they are exiting, we bid them farewell. I only wish they would not come back like I did say earlier. That's just the situation.
You mentioned that you were cautioning Peter Obi to be careful about the coalition. I mean, there have been rumors going around that the PDP is trying to woo him. Is that a fact?
Yes, it's our product. We want to get him back indeed, because he's a very, very, great capital for any political party. The truth of the matter, if he had not gone the way he did in the last dispensation and proved that mettle to be able to generate over 6 million in spite of the rigging and the frustration of his chances in many of the states, Peter Obi is truly a political capital, no doubt about it. And every political party that will have the opportunity of getting him, it will be to their advantage. And certainly PDP is not losing that effort. We are also making that effort in the belief that in the fullness of time we might get him, and it will add more to the chances of PDP.
And what about Nyesom Wike? Is he an asset or is he a drag on the PDP at the moment? I mean, he's straddling two parties, isn't he? Well, essentially.
That's right. The last time I checked, he's still a member of the PDP. He hasn't come out to denounce his membership. And even if it's coming with some disadvantage, like many have observed.
What kind of disadvantage?
A lot of persons will say that he is also another albatross, to PDP.
So the PDP would be better off if he packed his bags and left, basically. That's what I'm inferring from what you're saying.
Probably, because to be honest with you, those who stand against the chances of the PDP or have been doing things that will not promote the interests of the PDP are not necessarily within the PDP. And as a party, anyone who will constitute clog on its wheel of progress is better out of the PDP, so the PDP will get itself together and be able to bring back that, democratic hope for Nigerians yet again. So certainly, if Nyesom Wike is not going to be to the advantage of the PDP, which many argue, then he can also bid PDP farewell so that he stand wherever he is and do his bid. But certainly the PDP will not have one person, and there's not a single person that has that capacity to put PDP to shame. Whatever they must have done, we previously had a committee in place, which we're still reviewing, to deal with those dissenting voices, those who have taken another decision and have done things that will amount to anti-party. And Wike is said to be one of them for the number of petitions we have received.
So why don't you just fire him? Expel him from the party?
Once the committee comes up with its recommendation in that light, certainly there will be no stopping us from doing so. We would get rid of them all.
Right. But I mean, it is the PDP, and you speak very confidently and very authoritatively, and I have to say very impressively.
Thank you.
I mean, for a party that many people believe is on its knees, I mean, is there any reflection taking place within because these are kind of bravado words that we're hearing from you. I mean, are you guys sitting back and really, reflecting on what is happening to the party, with Atiku, for example? I mean, that's just one person. The fact that virtually all the founding fathers and the original members are going or are gone, and so many people have lost faith in the party. I mean, one of the reasons Atiku gave for leaving is that the party has diverged from its foundational principles. That was the same thing that people like Emeka Ihedioha has said. That's the same thing that Dele Momodu said, who has just left as well. And a whole slew of others. I mean, they can't all be wrong. And I mean, according to Atiku's spokesman, Paul Ibe, some PDP party members were now working openly with the ruling APC party. And this is one of the reasons that Atiku left. And you have to give it to him in terms of the potential credence of what he's saying. If you guys are allowing Nyesom Wike to remain in the party, and he's openly saying he's going to work to bring, President Tinubu back. I mean, is that what is happening in the PDP, that they're openly working with the APC, or do you think that his departure is specifically focused, as some of your colleagues have said, on his quest to run for the presidency?
That's clearly it, Charles. There's no other reason. Okay, in 2006, when he left for the first time to contest under the ACN, was the foundational values of the PDP eroded at that time? When he tried again in 2011 against Goodluck Jonathan, even refusing the president then, sitting president, the right of first refusal, were the foundational values of PDP eroded at that time. When he tried again in 2015, went and supported the APC to bring Muhammadu Buhari in power, where the foundational values of PDP eroded. So when he goes now, he would find, this is what the lawyer would call an alibi, finding an excuse from nowhere, to justify action. If he doesn't get his ambition promoted in the same coalition, it's as dead as arrival. He's not a member. All that Atiku is obsessed with is to contest for the president of Nigeria at all costs. And when a person begins to think that he's indispensable in a movement, then it leaves much to be desired, even in his sincerity, in that mission. So by now, one would be expecting Atiku Abubakar to have called it off, to have, raised some other successors to say, 3 decades after, he's still aspiring for the presidency. It mustn't be you. If you can't see anybody all along this, then it's unfortunate. So PDP is not losing any sleep.
Well, to be fair to him, we don't know. I mean, his spokesman said he didn't leave the PDP because of his ambition to run for president in 2027. He hasn't declared any ambition yet.
That is what
so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe by some fluke of chance, he might support someone else. I mean, you don't know for sure, do you?
When we get to that bridge, we'll be fair to him. But I dare him to announce tomorrow that he's supporting Peter Obi or any other person in that coalition.
Yeah, but the point is that it doesn't make things better for the PDP, though, does it? I mean, what can the PDP now say? Because beyond, individuals, Atiku or Wike or Obi or whatever, what can the PDP now say to Nigerians is the reason to still believe in the party? Because all they can see is internal fights. I mean, you're sitting here, perhaps rightly so, but you're still sitting here. And I mean, it's all about, oh, well, this person or that person or whatever. And these are, you know, solid members, I mean, very sort of influential members of your party. What can you say to Nigerians is the reason to still believe in the party? Because all they can see is internal fights, fights that have bent and twisted the PDP completely out of shape, defections that have severely weakened the party, and it comes across as no longer being able to operate even as an opposition party. Talk less of actually winning a national election.
I would respond by reminding you, Charles, that PDP is 27 years today, and the longest Nigeria has had throughout democratic experience, even if it is to be started from the First Republic. No political party has lasted within this period. And that was the period, 16 years of its managing the affairs of this country. Nigeria, as at 2015, when we lost power, was the third fastest economy in the world, next to only Qatar and China, and the fastest in Africa, fastest growing economy. Nigerians must be reminded this, and then we will govern this country on a single digit inflation. We conceded, the loss of power even before counting was over. We demonstrated statesmanship. We created democratic ambience and civil, freedom for Nigerians, for this democracy to flourish and thrive. We conducted elections and allowed the umpire, INEC, to dictate, the pace.
Well, some would argue against that.
Whether they argue, the last exercise was what we will use here to describe how.
You mean the 2015?
The 2015, where a sitting president could have, influenced the outcome, but he accepted and considered defeat and called on the victor even before INEC officially, announced the result, to come, send his team, for transition proper. What is important for Nigerians is for them to reconcile the situation they have today with what obtained when PDP was in power. And you did ask earlier whether
was it I don't mean to interrupt you, and I apologize,
yes,
but was it actually the PDP or was it some individuals? Because what we're seeing from the PDP is that, and that appears to be the case with most parties in Nigeria, that they don't have a solid ideology, they don't have a foundation on which to stand. And basically, individuals come, they make a difference, the party piggybacks off that difference. But once you're no longer in power, it completely dissipates your energy, because that is what essentially has happened to the PDP. It lost power in 2015, and it has been a case of completely diminishing from election to election, right up to where you are right now. And people would argue that the reason for that is because the PDP doesn't have any foundation beyond winning an election and being in power, and then sort of revolving around the person who is sitting in Aso Rock. And so, given that you haven't been able to do that, I mean, you're essentially, tessellated.
It will not be a correct narrative for the PDP, because it will take a PDP for it to last even after losing power for a decade now. It's still there, and we are priding ourselves as we speak today with 10 performing governors who have carved niches for their states and who have stood out in the crowd relative to what obtains in the APC governed states. So our governors have done so well, it doesn't matter if we are receiving a lot of pressure and influence of the ruling party APC for the few elements that are cowed, in their midst. Our people have still been speaking, and PDP is still not intimidated. We truly will come out triumphant. Some of the crises that we battled with, including the recent ones, we have come out of it, Charles, if you ask me. Because it has to do...
you haven't. That's why people are leaving.
No, it had to do with the national secretary of the party.
Yeah.
That was essentially what brought the division in the party, and the matter escalated to a level.
One of the divisions.
Well, one of the divisions, but that was the top on the rank. It divided the party and the hierarchy across... But then we got it right recently when we had our NEC, which will be repeated in a couple of weeks. By the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, you will see a different PDP. It will come out triumphant. It will yet again rekindle faith with Nigerians, and will give the ruling party fight of its money. By the time we have, the convention committee in place, new set of leadership is put in place, you will see a new PDP. And we will come back triumphant again, and there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Rest assured, I will come back here and let you know that I've told you this a few weeks ago when I came here. PDP is beyond an individual. We had at a time, if you recall, where a former president tore his membership card of the party. No sooner we saw him coming back into the PDP. It is the Trojan and the elephant in the house. The more you look, the less you understand. If we are talking about democracy and you leave PDP out of it in Nigeria, then you haven't started. PDP is the hope of Nigerians, and I can boast my chest and tell you that it will spring surprises in 2027.
Right. But at this stage, where do things go from here for the PDP? I mean, is it all about survival, or is there any second wind that could move the party beyond that and actually help it to thrive again? And we think about the reconciliation efforts, for example, of the former Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and I wonder what's going on with all of that.
Yeah, we're doing it. That's why I told you there are some things that are not for public consumption, so we don't let the cat out of the bag for our opposition not to get rid of it. Because we agree that the ruling party is dissipating energy, doing all within its powers, and deploying the arsenals of divisiveness across all the political parties, so it can silence voices of dissent. It has done so with Labour, it is doing so with the PDP, it's doing so with the SDP. You will recall the SDP was the first place where they said they were going, and they realized that the SDP is already in the pocket of the ruling party, and they now went and brought the ADC. I only reminded them a few days ago when I spoke with, I think AIT, I said, what makes them think the ruling party is not in the ADC as well? So it's a very serious situation, but the only political party that has the capacity to withstand that storm is the PDP. And that's why we still have 10 powerful governors doing so well in their respective states, and would spring surprises. Some of these things are not yet for public consumption, but we are creating national nights to see how we will come out of the quagmire. But I did agree with you. We came out of a storm, we suffered some problems, but we are navigating the water safely.
Well, to be honest with you, Nigerians would be very pleased if your party got back on its feet, because this country needs a solid opposition to speak on behalf of the Nigerian people.
It's an obligation upon us, and we will not let Nigerians down, God willing.
Well, we shall watch and see. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mr. Charles.
And metaphorically speaking, or perhaps physically speaking, you would need a big tent, wouldn't you? Because you're quite a tall bloke.
Of course.
So you're not going to need a small tent. It's got to be a big tent.
Something that will carry the whole country.
Well, certainly something that will carry you. It's going to be a tall tent. Well, good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Now, it doesn't look good, does it, when an independent, nationally and internationally respected journalist such as Donu Kabara, worked for the BBC, worked for a variety of organizations, speaking completely unbidden, and who used to be someone who felt that this country needed the kind of dramatic change that Peter Obi could bring, suggesting now that Mr. B has gone from being an inspirational firework to a damp squib. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Maybe some people just rely on what they see. As you said, she's an international media person.
Yeah, but also she's been in Nigeria.
She's been in Nigeria, but
that's
that's what she wants to see. She has her own. I'm okay with what she has said. But the truth of the matter is that us, we followed him. The obedient movement is not something that just is created just out of the blue. Young Nigerians wants to see a better and new Nigeria, and they are looking who is best within that space of time of 2020. And they have found out that among all the politicians, none of them said that he sent away somebody that is, but he's better than all the people who have seen during the contest of 2023 election. And the young Nigerians say, okay, let's mobilize ourselves through so person so that we can actualize our own dream. It's a dream of young Nigerians. It's not a dream of only Mr. Peter Obi. So the opposition after is not about him. It's about continue with the young people that already put their hopes on him to continue what they are doing. So she's seeing it from a different angle, while young Nigerians are seeing it from different angle. And also, Peter Obi brought a very new politics in Nigeria. Before, after election, we see politicians, they walk away. Everybody walk away. And then they reorganize themselves and come back just some few months to election, not giving us chance to know them, not giving us a time to have a conversation with them. But here's a person now, Mr. Peter Obi. He's always on space with us. We have a conversation with him. I followed him. We went from state to state. Because what we understand after the election that it is not everybody in the north, for example. I'm from Sokoto, I stay in the northwest. So it's not everybody that knows about him, how he governed in Anambra. And there's a lot of lies during the election, telling us mostly such things that we don't know about him. That talking about he gave an ID card to Muslims in Anambra, he demolished a mosque in Anambra, and things like that. So we thought that, okay, the election is over. the verdict has been given, but don't go back, don't relax. And he came with this idea, and we bring the idea and say, okay, let's move around and start to talk. And what Mrs. Don was maybe trying to see is that a presidential candidate in 2026, maybe in June 2026. But here we are in 2024. There is a government that is in place, and there is somebody that's supposed to give the opposition. And the young people are organizing themselves. We need 2025, a whole of 2025, to re-engineer and reorganize ourselves. What we are picking is that he needs to go and see with his eyes what is happening. For example, the issue of the Almajiri, we know how it stopped during the Jonathan time. We know in the north, for example, we don't feel comfortable seeing those young people on the street. And then we now talked to him and said, go and see how this Almajiri system works. And he followed us. We went to Almajiri school. He found that one of the schools in Kaduna, they don't even have a toilet. They don't have a decent water to take. And also they have to roll out to go and look for food for them. And what amazed him is that they read and they write in Arabic. And he was suggesting, if we can take these young people that we call out of school, why not bring school to them? And he pledged and he donated money. And we went back again for him to supervise the money that he have sent. That's the leadership we're talking about. Not just somebody that will sit in the villa or sit in the government house and keep on watching. And most of these works that we have done, for example, we went to Kebbi with him. We went to commission a borehole. I think we take almost more than 15 kilometers into the bush. And we met the Fulani, the same Fulani that people are now talking about, and she was saying that you see them, the Fulani, full Fulani village, and we took him there. And he interacted with them, he commissioned a borehole with them, and their leaders was there. They saw him. This is an Igbo man from the southeast that wants to be president. So what we've been doing in 2004 to 2024 is right to pick him and go to those people that need to see him. And we went to Emirates, Gondo Emirates, and we went to other Emirate councils. Why are we doing that? And then apart from that, we are doing third-party engagement, and we're taking him to some politicians that we know, irrespective of their parties, to sit down and talk to him. He's from commerce, he's from the bank, he's from the commerce sector. He's somebody that knows value. Every day we are talking with him, he look at the size, he gives comparison with agriculture, how he will build the northern block for us to get what we are getting. If it's Peter Obi as a president today, we will not be arguing about this tax bill, because the north is going to be producing all what it will be producing, and things are going to be captured. And it's a person, because he has the knowledge of coming from back, he is very good in talking numbers. So he like to see things, not just somebody just flying numbers, but he like to call numbers as accurate. So that's why he's moving around. He's been in Kogi, and he traveled by the road. As you can see the incident, it was on the internet when he saw a truck drivers block road. But he just came down and talked to them. They opened the gate and people move. We went from Kano to Jigawa with him some few days, few months ago. And then when we are going on the road, we have seen the one lane of the road is being abandoned, the other one is being used, and then there is a lot of potholes and uncompleted part of it. And then we are now discussing, okay, instead of us to take away 16 trillion and build a new coastal road somewhere, while we have just Kano to Jigawa, which a lot of workers stay in Kano and work in Jigawa and need that road to be flying around that road. So he's not just moving around as the way she uses the pedestrian. No, he is trying to take in the observation of what is happening. Let me give you an example. We had Buhari as a president. We're having Ahmed Bola Tinubu as president. And you can see the other contestants of Have you, Mr. Charles, ever seen any one of them on a journey of 200 kilometers, like, for example, coming from Kaduna to Kano on the road? They are not. They are always on their private jet. That's why when they come, they don't have the first-hand information about what to do with the situation. But what he's doing to schools, School of Nonsense, where we see him every week going, check his Twitter handle, every week he's going around and he's now talking to Nigerians. looking at the education, because if you want to change the system, the education is the first thing you're supposed to look after. Because those young Almajiri that you're seeing on the street, they are the ones that are going to be the vanguard of the politics. They'll call them NCSA in years to come. They are going to replace me on this seat. What type of young people are we going to create in the North? Who are going to talk on the behalf of the North? Who are going to be in the offices for a system to work? So, but he believes. Come on, one thing I really appreciate about him was that on our way going around all these things, we met some of our friends, and then we met some people that will come and greet him. They have a conversation, maybe in the aeroplane or in the car when we are doing. And once he now understands that young person has something on him, he can explain issues of electricity, issue of tariff, or anything, communication, and things like that. He always asks me, Brian, what's the name of that person? I will give him the name. We keep the name. We remember the name. So that when building governance is not easy. It has to come through a system. And he can't govern with the people that he governed Anambra State with them. He's going to govern with people. He needs ministers in all the 37 states,
yes,
including Abuja.
Well,
so he needs to use this 2024 right, and 2025 to do some legwork, as we said in politics. Because politics is something that can be... That's why, Charles, I used to get very worried when I hear people talking about who will become vice president, who will become president. This is not the time. The time now is for him to get people to know him,
right,
to get
engaged. I mean, her point is that this is the same guy, certainly from her perspective.
Yes.
And obviously, one of the points you're making is that it's important to go around canvassing with people, talking to people, and so on. And she is a person, yeah, and a significant person. And her point is that this is the same guy who galvanized so many people across different classes and ethnicities into action in a very short period of time. And now, according to her, he makes anodyne statements on social media, donates boreholes here and there. She probably didn't hear the story about the borehole and the journey.
Helping people.
Yeah, that you were talking about. But what she thinks is that what people really want to see is a man who is an inspiring leader of the opposition, because that is needed so desperately at this point. People need something to sustain them, to inspire them. And she says he's, nowhere to be found. You use the term that she used, pedestrian, that he's not a shining star at the moment. He's not taking on the government. And that's part of what people want to see. People want to be, not everybody has the opportunity to travel with him like you have, but people want to be inspired.
People want to be inspired, but it's the only thing that we have today. If they're taking off, what she is saying, you look at the context of Nigeria, when you bring the time of apartheid, type of during the days of Mandela, people that are thrown into jail and that. But look at what we have today, where people are seeing semblance of state capture. Then press, we just finished the interview now with somebody discussing about the issue of the press, and understand this is the person that is now uniting us from the south to the north, young people all over Nigeria and outside Nigeria, thinking of how we are going to wrestle and take over this country, because we know we've been late in 2003, but we are giving a more chance and more giving time to do. If now, for example, something happened in 2023, so if something happened to him now, he is the leader, he is the one inspiring us and talking to us and telling us what to do. If we have the kind of government that we have with the APC people and how they take politics and they do or die affair they want to do, and if he's been eliminated now because of maybe the confrontation that we wanted to do, or all of us have been thrown into jail and things like that, what will happen to us? Today you see him, he's in the court trying to take care of Dele Farotimi. Tomorrow is going to be me. Next tomorrow is going to be another journalist. So
you're saying he needs to be free.
We need him.
Yeah.
What the mistake they will do, how they will do, not him creating the problem to himself. At least we are doing what we are doing. We are putting off our offices, we're conversing, young people are talking, we're organizing. We can't come here because somebody wants to see us on the street fighting for us to now give out all our strategies.
Yes, I understand that. I have to move on because time is against us. I do recall, though, because you mentioned the APC there. I recall that in 2015, you were almost as passionate as you are now, a fervent supporter of Muhammadu Buhari and the APC. I mean, what happened to turn you away from them towards Peter Obi in preference?
In preference, because cost of government, because I have just finished reading what's happened in Argentina. And then I have seen what a president can do if he wants to change the country. I have seen what happened in Indonesia.
That's Javier Milei.
Yeah. So the most important is the head. Everybody knows that with Peter Obi, even Deji was saying that at least he will vote for Peter Obi because he will not buy a new private jet. Everybody have seen him traveling from one place to another even in an economy. The reason is why everybody knows, us that we work with him, the people that goes close to him know that there is going to be a reduction in the cost of government. Not somebody that is going to buy a new Jeep, not somebody that is going to pump money to build a new house for himself and new house for his own vice president. So that's the first thing that I have seen. Number two, he's trying to
fiscal prudence.
Yes, yeah. And also we are trying to actualize our own aspiration through him, because we don't have his capacity. We can be him. You understand? So, but we can be around him. The young people that are coming around him, what we are trying to do that we have not done in the APC is that now we are going to set up a system that will now checkmate us when we become. Because once we promise people and we tell them what we are going to do, we are going to have a process that will make sure that at least those things have been, nobody will take him over and nobody catch him, because we want somebody that can move around. The first thing I love so much about Mr. Peter Obi is his movement. The way you see him maybe in a day in 3 or 4 different states. That's what the leadership is supposed to be. Because he's coming from commerce, he's coming from thinking. That's the most interesting part of it. Because if I tell you, buy something for me, and you know that I will be in that market too, you'll be careful not to inflate that what I send you to buy, and you'll be very careful to bring what is authentic, because I'm going to see it. I'm not going to steal. This is the person that I know, because of what he's saying he's going to do. Definitely, he's not going to sit down in one place. He has never. If he sits in one place, he's going to fall sick, because that's the first person I know.
Okay, well, you've made that point, and we're fast running out of time. We've got a couple of minutes left. Just tell us a bit about the organization, the Big Tent, which you're the Director General of. I mean, it likes to call itself the third force, doesn't it? I mean, is it really that? Is there such a thing in Nigerian politics?
You see, the difference between us and what happened in 2015 is that in 2015, the APC put themselves together and go directly to take power. We've been sitting down trying to organize how we are going to see that power is not misused by anybody. That's the work of the Big Tent. And that's the kind of people that we assemble in the Big Tent, people from all walks of life. Our worry is not just putting Mr. Peter Obi in the saddle there. But
is that what the purpose of the Big Tent is?
No, it's not.
Right.
It's not. It preceded Mr. Peter Obi. We were there before even Mr. Peter Obi. Do you know that Mr. Pat Otomi is the Labour Party candidate before?
Yeah, he was the Labour Party candidate.
He was before he stepped down for Mr. P. Otomi. And Pat Otomi is the chairman of the Big Tent. So you can understand. So even when we are talking about Mr. I just don't pick Peter Obi. Somebody very prominent in Nigeria, I went to him, 3 of us, we asked him, with this number of people contesting for 2023 election, in APC they have almost getting to 20-something people, in PDP have almost 14 people at that time, and we asked him, who do you think among these people that can be a very good president for Nigeria? He said, I can't pick the 2 parties together, but I will pick one of each. He said, I think in the APC, he mentioned the name of Fayemi because they work together. But when he comes to PDP, he said he prefer Mr. Peter Obi. That's the first day I picked the name. I know him, just on other things, but that's when I picked the name or why, and I asked him why. He said I should go and do my research. And when I did my research, I found out, yes, there is a reason even why Atiku picked him in the first place to be his vice president in 2019.
Okay.
So that's how I said, this is a person that I have to study him to find out who he is. And I found that he is one of the most interesting person that you can think of as a politician in Nigeria today.
On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Ibrahim Abdul Karim is the Director General of the Big Tent. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. General.